Hello everybody, welcome back. Just going to make a quick video on the Forex situation really, because you know that Forex for me is what's governing the whole market at the moment. So whatever Forex wants to do, everything else kind of follows. That's fine. If that's the fix that we got at the moment, it's not always going to be the case, but if that's the way it's going to be, then fine. So what I'll be looking for the euro again, in the short term, we're getting this pullback here. This is where we were this morning, saying, look, we're pushing resistance, we're pushing the 10, we're also pushing the 20 and the 7 simple. So moving averages above us. Below us, we got a golden cross incoming and a simple golden cross confirmed. So any one of these areas would be okay to pull back into. Literally, it's not a big deal. In fact, it would be quite good to see that bounce from there. Normally, you'd want to see a cross take place and a bounce later on down the line. So this doesn't have to happen today or even this week. It can happen next week. Exponential is here. These are the simples. Simples don't often get retested. It's the exponentials that do. But if they do get retested, we can find a bounce and be okay so long as we hold above. We'll call it 103 on the euro. And all of this will be good for traditional markets and probably crypto if it can behave itself. If Bitcoin can remain above, we'll call it 16,500. But if we can just make our way above 17,000, that'd be brilliant. And all of this would be really bullish, and we'd expect to see another rally. Whether it's a sustained rally that we can call and everything bounce 3.0, technically it would be a 3.0 because everything should bounce together, and it's going to follow this chart. But for the moment, we're pulling back, which again is not a problem. I'm okay with the pullback so long as we don't break down below. We'll call it 200 exponential, 200 simple, and because that will mean parity. And then when you get parity again, we're going to lose confidence in this, and we'll see another rally. Well, when I called the top on the Dixie, which I did, no one else was. I was being called a buffoon. Called a buffoon. I was called many things. And they say, "What are you talking about? Can you not see this uptrend?" I can see the uptrend, and I can also feel the weight of the trend. I can also see the rhythm of the trend. Very neat, very tidy, going back over 12 years. You turn off all this noise. You can see it. Very, very neat and tidy. And yeah, fine pullback. Now we're getting our bounce. Our bounce has taken place a little lower than I expected it to. And again, it's not played out, in my opinion, by any means. I would be looking for a retest of some of these upper moving averages, but also any one of these could be a rejection. 10 exponential could be a rejection, talking 105.8. This is when it sounds like a radio station. 105.8, Dixie rejection. So because we got so much support leading on to this, it would be reasonable to imagine a rejection from it as well, but I'm not going to call any of that. The big swing is what we called, and the bounce around this area is what we're calling. And another way to look at this, because this was not just a Dixie analysis, we broke this down because of the Japanese yen. And if you remember the Telegram group, I participated in a heroes short. You won't catch me short in the market very often. I've got to be in the right place at the right time, the right mood to want to short something, especially Forex. But this was a no-brainer. We had a money flow index read of 92. Popping with divergence here on the daily and on the monthly. Look at this, 100 on the monthly. This was so overextended that it was guaranteed to pull back. My expectation was 150, and I managed to get it around 151 because I watched the spike go up, and I was like, I'm going to layer into this bad boy. And look at the size of this meltdown. This is Forex. We'll just measure it from 151 here. This is Forex. This is one chart. This is like for the best part of a 2-month period, less than that, 12, almost 13%, straight down, nuked. That's the dollar. That's the dollar that nuked, not the yen. That was the dollar. So with every downside comes a bounce, and I think a bounce is due on the dollar soon, if not already bouncing at this level. Now we've had this horizontal in here for quite a while as an area of significance. We dipped our toes below it, bounced from it, we dipped our toes below it, now we've recovered from it. And what we really want to see now for this, and again, this isn't going to have a full recovery, but if I can take off all this noise to make things look a bit simpler for you all, we've got a channel, a descending channel, and a descending channel usually finds a breakout. So it's a bit messy here. And what we'll be looking for would be something along the lines of this. Bush, and maybe a breakout. And if we were to break out, the reasonable place for it to break out to, for a top target, would be the top of the channel. So we're talking a pretty big move on the dollar if we were to break out from, let's just say, here That's a 7% gain on the dollar. If we break out here, that's a 5% gain on the dollar. I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen. We do have bullish divergence so far. This is exactly what you want to see on a descending channel like this, a falling channel, bullish divergence brewing. We're waiting for the move really at this stage now. Hidden bullish divergence brewing here on the weekly as well. So it's looking good for a dollar bounce. So if you think about all of that, we take all this noise off over here on the Dixie for what I'm expecting to see. It's already broken out. So the reason I'm showing you all this isn't because I'm a massive dollar bull. It's charts, isn't it, really? It's just charts. And I've been spending a fair bit of time with the charts today. I've been sitting around doing my taxes and spreadsheets and checklists for my accountant and all sorts of stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable that we're already seeing the breakout here for the Dixie. So the Dixie and the dollar yen do more or less look very similar. The Dixie includes the euro, and the euro has its own chart which says rejection. The size of the move on the yen would, against the yen would be big, and the dollar has broken out. So it seems to me that we're waiting for a breakout. And if we think about the same type of analysis when we apply that to the yen, if we think about the channel and the breakout of the channel, it means that we'll be thinking about 107.8. So we just turn our indicators on. What's around 107.8? Nothing is here on the moving averages for the daily. For the weekly, we would likely start to see a Bollinger Band center, and that's where I would really want to target the move up on this dollar. And I would love to see the rejection on the dollar take place from there, because it's at that place right there where I'd be like, right, where's the euro? Where's the Dixie? Where's the S&P? Where's Bitcoin? Where's all my favorite altcoins? That's what I'd be thinking about. So, timing trades, is, I suppose you've got to be in the right place at the right time. For most people, they're not, you're not able to sit and press buttons, at home like myself. For the most part, I've got a good portion of the day where I can just sit around and do that. It's only the school drop-offs and pickups and clubs and stuff like that where I'm unable to trade, which unfortunately for me is the majority of the trading day, because that's when American markets open. But if we're looking for spot trades or low leverage positions, this is the fix. I say the fix. This is the plan. This is the strategy that I've got, and it all revolves around Forex, and everything else, is just it's part of a line of dominoes which will, fall for the moment. We're waiting for a bounce on the dollar. That's likely to have a negative impact against everything. And then what we'll be looking for would be a rejection on the Dixie, and a support on the euro, and a rejection with dollar yen, and then a bounce for everything. So again, I know I've explained it many times, and I always try and involve it with crypto, but I thought this time around I might as well just put it all out there for the Forex, and this is what the next big major swing would look like, and maybe even the bottom of all markets. This could mark the end of the bear market. Doesn't mean we go straight up rallying like the kids of 2021 are used to. That's not what we generally do. I have to say that's not how markets often behave. That's pretty rare to see them do that sort of thing. And because it was such a big significant rally across all markets, it might be a little while before we even see those sort of highs again. But what we might get to see is some decent upside, and some decent trades. And this, like I say, this is the plan for it. Anyway, a long-winded, boring Forex video, but sometimes I think it's worth putting this out there, because I imagine a lot of people, I know you probably watch other videos and other channels and stuff, and they probably just talk exclusively about Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is really just one part of the overall puzzle at the moment. We know that everything's correlated. And what's it correlated to? Well, some people sit, carefully listening to the old men at the table talking about rate hikes. Well, what is a rate hike? It's pulling liquidity out of the system. It's basically artificially moving the strength or weakness of that, of the currency that the central bank is in charge of. They're trying to bring down inflation. So we are talking about currencies. We are talking about Forex, really. And so let's think about Forex if we're going to be doing all of that. And we can recognize that Forex has a huge impact at the moment. And so let's focus on those charts. The charts aren't everything, but the charts are showing us one thing, that the dollar is ready for a bounce. And with the dollar bounces, we should expect to see some downside. Not necessarily massive, but some downside with everything else. Anyway, all eyes on the prize. Let's wait. And look, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. It's going to take a couple of weeks. You know, we were waiting a few weeks for this to happen, and then when it finally did happen, lo and behold, exactly as expected. But it is what it is, and let's just sit back, watch, and wait. We've got everything working so far, so good. It looks like it's playing out exactly as expected. So tell Carl from the moon that someone around here expects something. Not him. It's me. I'm the one who's expecting it, not him. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.